Yo, what are you saying? It's your boy here. I'm wearing a fleece because it's cold, but that's besides the point because I'm doing the 2015 Bahrain Grand Prix review for you guys for today. And a little later on, I'm going to be reviewing the MotoGP Grand Prix of Argentina, which is going to be on soon. So, yeah, lots to look forward to. But for now, I'm going to be reviewing this Grand Prix. So, yeah, let's get going. So, before I talk about qualifying, in practice it really didn't go well for Jenson Button, as going into turn 1 in the first few minutes of practice, Jenson Button spun the car and he lost power, and as a result that was pretty much, it kind of made Jenson sit out for a bit of practice, which is unfortunate for the British driver. And then going into qualifying 1, it got worse for Jenson as his car broke down. His car broke down. Apparently it was electronics, and as a result he was out of qualifying and had to start from the back of the grid. Unfortunate for the British driver. Real unfortunate, because this is his 100th Grand Prix for the team. So, like I said, real unfortunate for the British driver there. So, yeah. Also, man who had a lot of unfortunates was Daniel Kvyat, who was out of Q1. Unfortunate for him. I mean, this is not really going well for Kvyat this season, you know. Last time out in China, he had a problem. He had an engine problem. I mean, nothing seems to go right. I mean, in Malaysia as well, he got collected by Hulkenberg, which dropped him way down the order. So, I hope it goes much better throughout the season, to be honest. You know, I mean, there's a lot of rumours as well that Kvyat has been put into Red Bull too early. He needs more experience and whatnot. I don't think that's the case, to be honest. I think whatever happens now, from now on, he'll still get some experience. So yeah, and as well, this Red Bull Renault car is not particularly good, especially with its Renault engine. So yeah, I mean, I think we've got to be patient here. I think I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for some clear judgment on him until the mid-season. So yeah. So yeah, so that happened. So unfortunate for Kvyat, and then into Q2, nobody went out for the first few minutes of the session, and then afterwards we got some people out on the track. A lot of people set a lot of quick times, but one in particular was Lewis Hamilton, who set a blistering lap time, an insane lap time to all of us, as he set a 1 minute 32.5. I think 8 tenths quicker than Sebastian Vettel behind him. So fantastic lap by Lewis Hamilton there, clearly showing some dominance this weekend, and also some dominance over his teammate as well. So yeah, and then moving into Q3, we had some good lap times being posted, and then in the end it was Lewis Hamilton who took pole position by 4 tenths of a second over Sebastian Vettel behind him. Third was Nico Rosberg. Unfortunate, he would have loved to be in ahead of Lewis Hamilton, so that he could spoil Lewis's momentum that he is currently having at the moment this season. Same can be said for Vettel. Loved to have stopped Hamilton's run of pole positions, but yeah, Lewis in the end was just clearly the dominant driver throughout the weekend. So yeah, good lap by Raikkonen. Unfortunate to not be in the sharp end, to be honest, but hopefully he can be there in the race. So yeah. 5th and 6th was the two Williams cars, so good lap by them lot, really showcasing that they are firmly in the top 3 in the team standings. And I think behind was Ricardo, so good lap by Ricardo there, and also good run as well by Sainz, getting himself into the top 10, beating Max Verstappen once again. So yeah. So ultimately, good qualifying session indeed. So yeah. So going into the race, before the race actually, we got told that Jenson Button would not be starting the Bahrain Grand Prix as he was set to be started at the practice grid. He was dumped out of the race by the team because of I think urge issues, to be honest. So yeah, unfortunate for Button, but from what the team have been saying, clearly they don't want Button to retire on his 100th Grand Prix on the first few laps. So yeah, unfortunate for Button, but hopefully he can bounce back in Spain. So yeah. So, and then also before the start of the race, Felipe Massa, as they were going on to the formation lap, Felipe Massa could not get his car started, and as a result had to start in pit lane. So unlucky for Massa, he looked so good in all throughout this weekend, qualifying in 6th place behind his teammate. You know, looking set really to beat his teammate once again. So yeah, unfortunate for the Brazilian there. But at the start of the race, it was an alright start for Lewis Hamilton. Sebastian Vettel had a good start and almost got the lead of the race, but thankfully Lewis shut the door on Sebastian Vettel going into turn 1, and as a result Nico was hung out to dry, and as a result as well Kimi Raikkonen got the inside line going into turn 2 and took third place of Nico Rosberg behind him there. Further down the field there were a lot of squabbling going on here and there, so yeah. And then afterwards Nico did not give up. He tried to get ahead of the two Ferraris and try to challenge the unit, and he started off with Kimi Raikkonen going down into turn 1. He almost ran deep and gave Raikkonen the opportunity to get that triumph, but thankfully Nico was able to cover him going into turn 1. But then Kimi got a really good run going out of turn 2 to turn 3, and got a good run going into turn 4, but thankfully Nico was able to keep Raikkonen behind, and as a result Nico was able to keep third place. So yeah. And then afterwards we saw Nico Rosberg make this good move on Sebastian Vettel there. Even though Sebastian ran wide, Sebastian ran wide in the first few laps, which gave a realistic opportunity for Rosberg to take second place off Sebastian Vettel, and that was exactly what happened as Nico Rosberg got ahead of Sebastian Vettel to take second place going into turn 1 there. Good move by Nico there. Clearly showing signs of aggression and showing signs that he wants to win this championship, so yeah. But sadly throughout the whole entire race Nico really didn't have any answer to Lewis's pace, to be honest, you know. So yeah, Lewis really showing that he is the dominant force in the Mercedes camp, so yeah. And then going into the first pit stops, we saw Sebastian Vettel pitting first out of the 4 leaders. He went onto the soft tyres, and as a result Nico had to respond, which he did a lap later. And but sadly Vettel made the undercut work, and as a result got ahead of Nico Rosberg to retake second place ahead of Nico there. So yeah. And then as Lewis came into the pits, it was a really slow stop, about a second I believe, and as a result Sebastian Vettel and Nico Rosberg almost passed Lewis Hamilton there. So imagine if Lewis was behind both Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel, that would have infuriated the Brit there. So yeah, thankfully that did not happen. So yeah. And then as well, Kimi Raikkonen pitted for the medium tyre, and but the amount of laps that he stayed out really cost him an opportunity to really make a challenge on the 3 leaders there, and as a result was behind by like 8 or 9 seconds. So yeah, unfortunate for the Finn there, but thankfully he was able to catch up to them thanks to the medium tyres in the middle stint there. So yeah. Also further back we saw some really good racing going on, particularly with Felipe Nasr and Felipe Massa, as both of them were squabbling really hard for I think 10th place. So yeah. Felipe Massa could not keep Felipe Nassia behind for too long, as Nassia made a good move down the inside, coming out of the sweepers, and yeah, got ahead of Felipe Massa there. So yeah, but I knew this was actually going to be the case because Massa was really struggling with his tyres there. So yeah. And then later on during the race, we saw and then going into the second pit stops. We saw some really good pit stops going on, particularly with the Ferrari boys, as they made some really good pit stops, and as a result got ahead of Nico Rosberg at once again to really infuriate the German there. And but his infuriation didn't last for long, as Sebastian Vettel made another mistake, his second mistake of the afternoon, second mistake of the evening, I mean. Ran too deep, got into the curbs, and went completely wide, went onto the gravel and lost out to Nico Rosberg. But that wasn't it for Sebastian Vettel, as his day got even worse because his front wing was damaged, causing him to pit for another pit stop and dropping him right down to 5th place behind Valtteri Bottas, who afterwards Vettel could not get by Valtteri Bottas, you know. Vettel was really infuriated and really frustrated with Valtteri being ahead of him there, as Vettel would love to be ahead of him and try to make gains on the 3 leaders ahead of him. So yeah, not a particularly good day for Sebastian Vettel there. I think he'll be really kicking himself, to be honest, because there was a major chance of him maybe even winning the race, to be honest, let alone getting a podium. So yeah, unfortunate for him. Really, he'll be massively gutted with that, to be honest. Really gutted. Yeah, Sebastian Vettel. And then it got really worse as well. I mean, he even almost went to the back of Valtteri Bottas. I mean, like, he is really getting so frustrated. I mean, we're not used to Sebastian Vettel making those kind of mistakes, you know, to be honest, you know. We usually see Sebastian Vettel, you know, being right in the thick of it, right, being right in the thick of the Mercedes battle, and also to be ahead of Raikkonen as well. But for him to be just struggling so badly that he cannot get by a Williams, who, you know, throughout the start of the season has been massively quicker, is massively frustrating and is massively weird to his case. So yeah, I think very frustrating for Vettel there. Clearly, hopefully he'll bounce back. Hopefully he'll bounce back in Spain in a few weeks. So yeah. Excuse me again. Pastor Maldonado, he had to retire the car due to some braking issue, I believe. So yeah, unfortunate for him there. We also saw the 2 Toro Rosso guys retire from the race. Unfortunate for them. And then going into the final pit stops, we saw Kimi Raikkonen staying out a little bit longer than I was expecting, to be honest, because the last tyre that he'd be running on is the option tyres, which the Mercedes weren't going to be running on, making Raikkonen's life a little bit more better, a little bit more easier for him. But yeah, surprise, he did not hit early. You know, I know, you know, the guys who ran soft at the start of the stint managed to go up to, like, I know the leaders who ran the soft tyres managed to go to lap 18. You know, but I still think, you know, with the light fuel and whatnot, and also with the Ferrari being kind of on its tyres, you would think that 20-21 laps wouldn't be an ip for the Ferrari. So yeah, a little weird, to be honest. So yeah, but they did bring him in just before Rosberg caught up to Raikkonen there. So yeah. Yeah, they put on the option tyres and yeah, came out onto the track still in 3rd place. So yeah, and then Raikkonen was really making gains on the two Mercedes, particularly Rosberg, as he was gaining until he got right onto the back of Rosberg with a few laps to go. But Rosberg, going into turn 1, made a mistake. He ran too deep. Apparently there was a brake issue because of that, and as a result allowed Kimi Raikkonen to take second place of Nico Rosberg. As a result, Kimi Raikkonen got second place. So yeah, very surprising, to be honest, you know, because because the Mercedes had been running really strong up until that point. So yeah, really surprising. But this is Formula 1, and these kind of things can happen at any point. So yeah, unfortunate for Rosberg, but it's what it is. So yeah. And then in the end, on the final lap, we saw Lewis Hamilton struggling, and then we saw Lewis Hamilton having problems with his brake as well. His brakes had gone on the last lap, and that made us all a little bit sort of, that put us on edge, to be honest, because what if Lewis's brake had gone off? What if Lewis's brake did not work, and as a result as a result that made Lewis run wide, and as a result got Kimi the win? I mean, that would have been a massive surprise. That would have been the surprise of the century, to be honest, you know. So yeah, but thankfully Lewis was able to keep his car. Lewis was able to keep his car. Lewis managed his brakes nicely, and as a result won the race. So yeah, good drive by Lewis Hamilton. Completely dominated the race up until that last lap, which wasn't his fault. So yeah, Kimi Raikkonen came second place. Great drive of the day, to be honest, because, you know, from where he started from 4th place, you know, we thought that Vettel was going to completely wipe the floor clean in terms of Raikkonen there, but Raikkonen managed to make those mediums work, and also make the softs work, and as a result overtook Rosberg to take second place there. So yeah, my drive of the day is Raikkonen for sure. So yeah, Rosberg, unlucky for Rosberg, who finished in 3rd. He must be kicking himself for that little problem there at the end, but whatever, it is what it is, you know. Hopefully he can bounce back in Spain in a few weeks. So yeah. But yeah, in the end as well, we saw Daniel Ricciardo's car let him go, but thankfully he was able to cross the line to finish in 5th there. So yeah, good to finish in 6th. So yeah, good drive by him. Grosjean finishing in 7th, picking up more points for the team there. Great drive by him. And yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. It's your boy, I'm out. Peace.